Bridging the Gap podcast.
Today we are with a good friend of mine, Haid. It's been a long old time since we've met and actually seen each other in person, so it's more of a catch up for us. But also, I see lots online of what you get up to with your wild camping and walking, and it seems like a lot's changed. But also, we seem to have some similar opinions. So I think today is going to be an interesting one for us. But firstly, good to see you again, mate.
Cheers with a cup of coffee.
Little cheers, think. But so what I want to do is, obviously we're going to delve into the whole conspiracy side of life and COVID and
Trump, everything Trump.
Well, yeah, everything. There's been, since I did the last episode with my dad, there's been the Labour budget that's been released, which we can talk about that. And Trump has obviously just won the election. So there's tons. But the first thing that made me go, oh, yeah, that'd be really interesting. All I see now, what's your Instagram page called again?
Blisters and Bug Bites.
Blisters and Bug Bites. Used to be called
Beers and Bug
Bites, but he realised that walking up and down mountains drunk doesn't help.
It made interesting stories.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I'm more interested in where that came from and what you're doing with it now, because it seems like a lot's gone on.
Basically, I was going out wild camping and hill walking, and the wife said to me, "You need to record it. Just even if you just post pictures, don't say anything, just sort of record what you do." And I started doing that, and it's not a massive following, like 1,000 followers, but I didn't expect
followers is good.
I didn't expect to get 100, to be honest. So it took off a little bit more than I thought. It started off as a competition. She had a sort of childcare page. I had my camping one.
Oh, okay.
It started as a bit of a competition.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, of who could get to 100 first, and then I got to 100, and she did shortly after, and then it was 500, and then it kind of stopped as I was sort of.
Did she still do that page?
No, she's changed. Well, she's got Mamas and the Cubs.
I remember that one.
But yeah, she doesn't post as she did. No, I don't either so much now, to be fair. I took about 6 month break from it and not really got back into the swing of things with it.
Well, I've noticed you've started putting some more stuff up.
Recently, yeah.
Can I ask why the break? Since life got busy? Or
and I was not drinking, focusing on myself and building myself, and I felt social media was a bit of a drain.
Yeah.
On my mental capacity to deal with things. Looking at stuff like, why are you getting that and I'm not? And comparison and the thief of joy and all that crap.
But, considering we're a minute or two into the podcast, I think you've touched on something incredibly important straight away, because I watch myself doing it and I watch my partner doing it as well. And I think these days we spend too long comparing ourselves to other people.
Yeah.
If you think when we were younger, I'm not saying we're old yet, but when we were younger, we wouldn't spend all of our evenings just sat scrolling going, oh, they look perfect because they've got a filter on, obviously. They look fucking like a doll. And then you've got other people that are living these lavish lifestyles that probably aren't even in these private jets. You can rent the buildings, you can rent the warehouses.
When I figured this out, and when I've noticed people are renting classrooms to do YouTube shorts.
Are they?
You've not seen it? It's the same classroom that keeps appearing, exactly the same. Clock in the same position. Watching? It's like that couch, isn't it?
Yeah. But I've seen these warehouses now where people can go and pay however much for the day, and it's got like a jail cell, a school. It's got. I mean, it sounds naughty when you say it like that, but it is. The worst thing is, it is quite innocent now. They're using it for these shorts because. Yeah. Does it concern you, for anybody even bothering to listen out here, we both have kids, does it concern you that the next generation that are growing up, there's a lot of focus on kind of popularity online and image online and success through those means? Because I always have this fear that it's not going to last forever. You could... I nearly said my daughter's name then, I'm not going to say it. She could grow up and have a page that's really good and actually be making, I don't know, £1,000 or £2,000 a month from it, and she's actually living brilliant. But then 6 months later, TikTok or Instagram changed their rules, and then suddenly her page shut down, and that's it. Yeah. Because obviously me and you have got careers that are industry-based and are safe. So we're going, cool, this is just a bit of fun. If it doesn't go well, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm still going to pay the bills. I'll let you talk.
It's the social side of it. I see it with my daughter. She's 11, almost 12. Just started like big school, and it is all about a phone now. All about you don't teach them anymore as a parent, because anything that you think they're at the stage to learn about, they've seen it already online.
Yeah, that concerns me. My daughter, she's nearly 6. She's already on TikTok.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, oh, can you make that origami thing that I saw the other day? And I'm like, how do you even know what origami is? I wouldn't have been able to tell you that at 6. But
with my son, it's not so much of a worry, but they're completely different people. My son likes to learn. So he'll come out with this random fact that I wouldn't know. And he's right, because I have to Google it to make sure that it's right, obviously.
You want to prove him wrong. That's
and he's just retaining all this information that he's seeing online. And so it is a good tool for learning.
That's the problem. You're like, do I stop it? Because we didn't have that when we were growing up and we turned out fine. But are we hindering a potentially better development? We could say, look, do it, because on the podcast we listen to quite a lot, I'm not going to name names again, but they were talking on there, I'm not sure if it's the same episode that we were talking about in the car earlier, people that do online gaming that end up being surgeons are like 25% better at surgery. And you kind of go, okay, well, I'm not going to worry about that. The issue I think that you're leaning into there is, we both know that the algorithms on Instagram and stuff, if you start following stuff that, you know, I followed a page for steak videos, because, you know, that's me. And within about a month, they'd done 100 posts of steak, and then suddenly, big titted lady comes out of nowhere. And my partner's next to me going, what the fuck are you following?
It always happens at that moment as well, doesn't it?
And I'm like, whoa. So I went on the page and showed her. I was like, look, this is what I've been seeing for the past month. And just randomly this has happened. And she was like, oh, okay. So, but then when you think, obviously you were saying 11, 12 years, I'm talking 6. And she turned around to me the other day and went, oh, I saw someone getting their tooth taken out at the dentist on TikTok. And I'm like, you shouldn't see that. Like, all right, you might learn and grow up to be a dentist, but all right. But the bit that concerns me most, which you're probably going to know more about than me because yours are a bit older, is back at school. It used to be, if you're getting bullied, it stays at school. You go home and you're safe. Now, that isn't the case, is it?
No, well, we actually had an issue with that in year 6.
Really?
And
6?
In year 6, yeah.
I didn't know what a phone was when I was in year 6.
No, mommy.
Fucking hell.
Probably because they weren't invented to the same sort of capacity that they are now, Pete. But
sadness in my face, and I was like, how old am I?
But yeah, and God knows what her parents were doing, but my daughter was getting messages at 20 past 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning that she didn't need to be getting at any time of the day, but they're coming through at that. And
like nasty shit.
Yeah. And it was, girls are worse than lads in this respect, but it was petty, stupid, horrible, nasty shit that, you used to say to the face, and then it'd be done. Like you say, it gets brought home with you, and it was a bit relentless. We had to get the school involved, and
well, that's it. You kind of go as a parent, I want to go find those parents, and you're like, well, I can't overstep the mark here.
Yeah, when you find out a dad's in a wheelchair, and it sort of diffuses the situation before one arises. I can't be that much of a cock. Like.
But still, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying you'd go and do anything. You'd still want to find them and go and talk to them and say, do you realise that your child is being this much of a little shit?
Yeah, but they did. They did know.
They did know.
Yeah.
That's the downside, because you just think, oh, these people do exist like that. But you hope that they don't. But then how much do you mollycoddle and shield a child from this, or do you let them experience it so that they grow up very streetwise?
But then that's the dichotomy of parenting, really, isn't it? Like, do I wrap them in cotton wool? Do I keep them safe, or do I let them go trip over and sort of learn the way that things are?
I'd say a happy medium is probably what most parents end up doing.
Maybe, but I don't know. There's a lot of ones that just.
What is it? Jordan Peterson says, allow them to explore dangerously, but with caution.
Yeah, do dangerous things, but safely.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, something like that. And I was like, okay, that's pretty
There's actually thing on my Instagram about that with my youngest.
Oh, is it?
Doing a bit of climbing, yeah.
Well, see, we were taking my daughter climbing, and it was bouldering. It wasn't harness or anything. And at one point, she was up to like the height of this room, probably, I don't know, 8-9 foot. And I was just looking at her going, at the first lesson,
It's
she was
uncomfortable, isn't it?
Do you know what I found weird? The first lesson, she was fine because she hadn't thought about how scary it could be.
Yeah.
Then the second lesson, she was petrified because she had thought about it on the drive there and wound herself up. The teacher was telling me about it. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't realise this. And the third lesson, she'd overcome it a bit. But, I mean, if she fell, I'd have tried to catch her. But
Yeah. But if you do that at a later stage in life, you won't get past that second time because you're scared to do it. You convince yourself that it's not a safe thing to be doing. So you don't progress.
Definitely. So, but anyway, sorry, bringing you back in because it does lead quite nicely in because I know that you do these walks with your kids as well, or the camping. That when I saw that, I was like, that is fucking cool. If I thought that my daughter would be all right with that, then I'd do it. But I think just like my partner, they like to have a nice toilet and not share one at a campsite or something.
Yeah, my daughter sort of fell out of it pretty quick when she realised that she couldn't take a hairdryer into the woods with her. But yeah, I took my lads not last weekend, the weekend before, to Wales. I actually got private campsite, wild camping, private campsite type thing, where it's just you on the site, you're in the woods, there's a stream that runs through the site, and yeah, you're not bothered by another soul other than some sheep, and yeah, there's a fire, bit of cooking, yeah, it's quite good.
So you're essentially renting nature.
Yeah.
Cool. That's pretty good.
It assume he does all right, I think, but yeah.
Let's start with this then. So far, all of your wild camping and walks have been UK based.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you plan to go outside?
I'd like to, but I was in Greece earlier on in the year, planned just a 5-mile walk, and 35, 37 degrees is too hot to be walking in. You need so much water that it's just doesn't seem feasible. I'd like to do the colder side of it. I wouldn't mind the likes of Alaska and places like that.
Have you watched that program on Netflix? I can't remember what it's called.
Like a Naked and Alone type thing.
Yeah, it's basically they just drop a load of people in Alaska and
Yeah.
then say to them, you have to be in a team to win it, but they just have to survive.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's a few things like it, man. It's interesting.
It is well good.
Yeah.
Some bits in there are brutal, and if anyone watches it, the women in the first season, bitches, absolutely. Like, there's people
It's always the women, man.
I mean, I'm not one to judge. It could have been the blokes. It's just all it was. I think they'd fallen asleep in camp for the night, and they have like 2 sleeping bags and a teepee made out of trees and bushes and stuff. And they waited until they left their tent in the morning, or whatever you call it, the camp, to go get berries and stuff. And they snuck over, jumped over the river, and nicked all their shit. And then I was just like, that is some schoolyard stuff. But
yeah, on the other hand, though, when it's for survival, I'd rather have it than them.
Well, yeah, I suppose. What about the Americas?
Yeah.
Because that's not too hot, but surely it's the place to be for walks.
Anything where there's nature, I'll be more than keen to give it a bash. Okay. The only sticking point is you get a bit conditioned in England that the worst wildlife you've got to worry about is a tick bite and Lyme disease. It's a bit. That's probably the worst thing. You can get rammed by a cow.
I was just going to say, what about like a wild boar comes and finds you or something?
Yeah, I think there's only Forest of Dean where there's really wild boars.
See, I wouldn't know that. What about like deer though?
Yeah, deer won't bother you. I've had deer walk through the camp. Well, you ever heard a deer bark?
No, actually.
Oh, mate.
Is it loud?
When it's pitch black, you're there on your own in the middle of the woods, just trying to get to sleep, and you start hearing roe deer barking. It's that one. Yeah.
Right, okay. I don't think this will come through the headphones for everyone listening, but I mean, I just need to quickly hear it.
So it's right from there.
I mean, they look creepy at night anyway, don't they? It's the eyes. And I don't like the fact that they've got such thin legs and a thick
It looks
body.
odd, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You'll know when it does it.
I didn't realise they bark. I thought they kind of howl like a wolf or something.
Come on, I know you do it.
Come on, do it. I'll cut this. What the fuck was that?
That's a deer bark.
That wasn't that. He sneezed. He fucking sneezed.
But it's quite Especially the first time you hear it. And so I'm lying in my hammock Googling what the fuck was this sound.
For those listening, it was like,
but yeah, they ain't gonna hurt you. Like in terms of health, it's Lyme disease from a tick bite that you don't want to get.
Have you had tick bites when you're out there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've
Do you
came
know
back.
when it happens, or do you just find it like an hour later?
You find this was the next day, so I'd had it overnight, and I had seven or eight. I had to pick up, and you've got to remove them in a certain way because if you snap the head off and leave the head in there, then it can get infected.
Grim.
Yeah, I removed them, but yeah, when you start comparing that to bears, wolves, coyotes, and stuff like that in the Americas, it's a different ball game.
I think that's it though. If you were out there, you would take different equipment because I know you were saying obviously you have
I want a gun.
Yeah, I'd want a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, just on the back of that, America's gun laws, yay or nay?
If I'd lived in America, I would be a gun nut.
Yeah. Well, I guess
I'm an engineer. I love taking things apart, putting them back together.
Yeah.
I would be able to do that blindfolded. I'd love it.
But I guess what I'm saying is, do you think, because they obviously have a lot of contention over whether it's a good thing to let everybody have a gun if they want one?
I think you need to be means tested. Yeah, probably maybe not as stringently as this country.
I mean, what, in this country you can have an air rifle and a shotgun? That's kind of...
You need a license for a shotgun. You can get a rifle for a certain low caliber round.
Yeah.
Five something, I don't know.
But even the shotgun has to be in a cabinet locked to the wall, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
and the pin can't be in the gun when it's locked away.
Really?
Yeah, it's got to be in a separate safe.
But the thing is, their argument's going to be the only time you'd ever need a shotgun is if you're like a farmer.
Yeah.
Who else needs a shotgun?
Yeah.
But...
You have to be a member of a gun club to own a gun as well.
Oh, what, in America?
No, in this country.
Oh, really?
To get a shotgun license, you have to be a member of a shooting club.
Which I guess is... This is where we fall into dangerous territory because I know that previously talked about episodes and me and you probably agree that the whole control and non-stop who are you, ID tags in your skin, all that kind of crazy shit, we're not a big fan of that.
No.
But at the same time, when it comes to who's got guns, I'd probably like them to have some ID.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd want ID and I would want some sort of means testing, if I'm honest. Joe Blogg's down the road who's got schizophrenia and some split personality disorders. I wouldn't want him walking around with a gun.
No, especially not on bonfire night.
No.
He's just walking his dog, the fucking explosion goes off and he's just running around with a pistol in the air. And you're like, whoa, in you get, kids. But I agree. I'm going to segue again, which is not good. But talking of ID... What's your...
Yes, you should have voter ID in America. If that's
you knew exactly where I was going with this.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, what's your knowledge on this? I've seen little headlines of it. I've seen, obviously, the people moaning about it on podcasts and stuff, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
Right, if it's racist to have a voter ID...
Who said that?
I don't know. I'm hearing people saying it's...
from the party in America?
Before in the last election when they were mentioning we need voter ID and people were saying, oh, it's racist to have voter ID, from what I've read.
Okay.
If it's racist to have voter ID, then is it not racist to have a driver's license?
Pretty much.
Yeah, there's just no logic as to why it'll be... I'll Google out. There we go.
Let's have a look. CNN. Oh, sorry, that's CMV.
I'm sorry, don't go on Twitter.
CNN.
Sorry, not Twitter. Reddit.
No, I'm not going to use Reddit. But
I've spent a lot of time on Reddit lately, which had me convinced Trump was not going to win.
Why?
Because it's a left-wing echo chamber. Like, it just is. You get one or two people that will post about how something good that Trump could do or has done.
Okay.
And it is downvoted to high hell.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought Reddit was kind of an open forum where...
I did.
I mean, it's not quite a 4chan.
Yeah, I did, which made me think he had no chance of winning. Everyone hates him. And I'm there thinking, if I was American, I'll probably vote for Trump. And yeah, I'm the outlier here because everyone else I'm seeing would.
Mate, I've got a story for you about this. I'll just quickly say, I've Googled it. CNN, law professor tells Cruz, Texas voter ID is racist in fiery hearing exchange. I think that's Miss Frenita Tolson. So she's the one that's saying voter ID is racist. I can't say I agree.
I don't know how it could be. But is that my white privilege?
I don't even think it's that. I just think it's a case of if you're voting to say who should run the country, at least prove that you get a say in it. You know, I don't care whether your ID just says your name and your date of birth. It doesn't need to show race at all.
It just needs to show that you're a registered US citizen.
Yeah.
We have to show it in this country, don't we?
Indeed, we do.
What issues does that cause over here?
I mean, one issue, when I voted in the general election...
You forgot it?
No, I got down there and I got my ID out and the woman, they shouldn't show any form of judgment, but I got it out and she went, "Oh, you've changed." Like that. And I couldn't help but laugh. I was just like, "Fucking bitch." He just walked off. Like, I came outside and said to my partner, I was like, "Do you hear what she said?" And she was just like, "Oh, it's not very nice." And I was like, "It's true though. It's probably true." But yeah, so funny story. I was out the other day. I'm going to keep it vague so that you don't know what I was in. And I said to somebody, close family member, I said, "Oh, have you seen the election results?" And they were like, yeah. And I said, "So Trump's won." And they were like, "Oh no," looked really annoyed about it. And I went, "We're not in the place to have this conversation right now, but I'm just going to say one thing. I'm happy about it." And that, honestly, their face just dropped. And I was like, well, it was the lesser of two evils. I'm not saying that Trump's an amazing guy, but as we mentioned on the previous podcast, he's the lesser of two evils. And their response was, "He's a sexist pig and a criminal." And I was like, yeah, he probably is. But Kamala Harris, or is it Kamala or Camilla? It's Kamala, isn't it?
Kamala.
I'm pretty sure in the last podcast I called her Camilla for about an hour straight.
I think you do, actually, yeah.
But I don't care. I mean, she means nothing to anybody now anyway. She's lost. But I was like, okay, I get that. But that's all about him. That's just him specifically. Is he still going to be good in power? Yes.
I genuinely think he would.
I mean, he is bonkers, though. Did you watch the latest interviews?
He's fucking tapped, mate. He's not all there. But cognitively, you compare him to Biden, and he's 1,000%.
But even Biden started going with it. Did you see him put the MAGA hat on?
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
I'm not even sure he knew what he was doing. Someone could have told him he was putting a cowboy hat on, and he would have thought he was putting a cowboy hat on.
I don't even think it's that. I think he got muscled out of his own party, and now he's like, fuck you. He's bitter about it. But I don't know. It's funny. It's going to be more interesting because, I mean, Musk is now quite heavily involved in politics, which is strange.
Which came out of nowhere from my perspective.
It did, considering it shocks me because Trump seems to want to do loads of, what do you call them, tariffs and stuff to kind of make the country wealthier again, which is not going to bode well for Musk because he obviously owns a lot of large companies that use import-export. It's going to cost him a lot. But, geez, right, this is a wild opinion of mine, but I can't decide whether I'm kind of hopeful for it or not. Do you think Musk at some point in the next 10, 20 years could end up in the presidential election?
Maybe running some sort of high-tech AI system that he would run in his place.
You just get a robot to do it for him? Yeah. I mean, that's very Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it could be a foot in the door for later on down the line for him.
Maybe some sort of advisor somewhere along the lines, but I'm not sure. I don't know. It wasn't until recently that I've seen him as a really socially awkward person.
Oh, he is socially awkward.
Yeah, but he's the runner of a multi-billion-pound company. It's an odd one, isn't he? He's like,
have you noticed before he responds to something, sometimes he'll freeze for like a good 15 seconds. Like, it's like
I can imagine he's thought of 50,000 different responses to give in that time. It's like,
I feel like he would make a good president. Like if he was prime minister here, I'd be like, fucking all right. I'm actually interested in politics now. I have faith in a leader for once.
Yeah. I mean, I like the guy. I wouldn't not vote for him.
Yeah.
But no, personally, I can't see that in his goals.
I think the real answer here is he wants to populate Mars. So once he's over on Mars, he'll just be all ruler, king of Mars instead. It's probably a bigger goal.
I'd still vote for him.
Yeah,
I'd like to be on Mars with him, actually.
I don't know. Have you watched Martian, the film? The Martian, sorry.
Oh, I don't think I've watched that one, no.
Oh,
Is that the one where they start terraforming it?
Yeah, and he gets left on his own there, and he has to survive, ration his food, and grow potatoes and his own shit.
And he gets really excited when he actually grows his first potato, doesn't he?
Yeah. What's his name?
Matt
Damon.
Yes.
You know what? It's
I have seen this, actually, yeah.
Such a great film. Like, I like watching it, but it can be a bit slow, but I find that interesting, and I think it adds to the dynamics of, it needs to be a slow film.
Yeah.
Because he's alone.
If it wasn't, it would have aliens chasing him.
Yeah, well, it's a case of if you wouldn't get that sense of feeling of solace if it wasn't a slow film. And then obviously at the end, I don't want to ruin it for anyone listening, it picks up a little bit.
How shit scared would you be as him, though?
Well,
Not only are you on your own, you're on your own on fucking Mars.
Yeah. But what you've got to think is, being him, it would be a different view. Because you wouldn't just go over there. You'd have had probably years worth of training on what to do in space. And you're also a botanist, so you know how to grow things. So you wouldn't panic quite so much of, oh, the fuck, how am I going to do this? Because I'm me that likes music and works digging holes in the ground. Like, I'd be useless out there. So yeah, I would fucking shit myself and then try and grow a potato in it. But I don't fucking know. I can't remember how we got onto this now.
Elon Musk colonising Mars.
That was it.
Being president.
And being president, yeah. But what's his name? John F. Kennedy? Real gravelly voice.
Yeah, I like him. I like what his plans are for the FDA.
Yeah. Have you seen some of his videos that he's released already?
No.
He's already done... well, I only got halfway through it, actually. I was going to send it to you. It's like a 6-minute video with him. It looks like an American-style cookie advert, when there's still this classic old kitchen with like doilies and stuff, and he's there with all this really bad food on the table, obviously with his gravity balls on. but he's talking about yellow food dye and stuff, and he's basically saying, we don't know why the fuck it's in our food. No other country in the world puts it in the food, but it's here and it's really bad for you. I think it actually make a difference.
I hope he does, yeah. And what a better way is a big fuck you to whatever powers be over there that killed his relative.
Yeah, but that's where things are going to get interesting.
If Trump doesn't fucking release it this time round, after he went on there and said,
"Yep,
I'm going to do it in the first month," if he doesn't, I'm not going to be happy.
Do you think that if I was him, obviously he's going to pardon himself. Of course he's going to fucking pardon himself. He's going to investigate into why they were all coming after him, like a witch hunt kind of thing. But also, I'd be getting all of these agencies to go, find out who the fuck was trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck tried to shoot me, and was it an inside job?
Yeah, he weren't alone, fucking...
No fucking way. And you'd want to know. You'd be like, who tried to kill me? I'm the boss man around here now. I've got all these strings to pull, and if I find out that one of these strings was actually the string trying to fucking kill me, shit's going to pay. Like,
yeah.
Like, it'd be so weird.
Have you ever done any shooting?
But do you know what? I haven't. My dad went and did
not fucking easy.
Yeah, he did clay pigeon, and he said even that was quite tricky. But at least there you've got like
you've
spray,
got haven't you? So it died. Yeah.
But doing a single shot, fuck no. I'd love to do it. Like I'd like to have a go. I wouldn't be very good.
No, it's even with a gun that's sighted in perfectly. I wouldn't be able to pinpoint to hit something the size of an ear and know that I'm going to hit it.
You might know more about this than me. What I don't get is how they account for wind. Because you can obviously adjust this sight to account for a strong wind travelling from right to left or something. But wind isn't consistent for the whole distance. So your bullet could travel and then there could be a little gust right at the end that just fucks it off.
I'm assuming it's like a wind speed type thing. The velocity of the bullet is going to be...
Oh, does it make wind direction negligible?
Well, you've got... But I don't know whether this is true. This is just trying to figure physics out. But you've got the velocity of the bullet and the distance.
Yeah.
It's going to be largely unaffected by a 20 mile an hour wind gust over that speed and that
Never
trajectory.
thought of it that way.
Interesting. I could be wrong.
No, I agree. I like that. You've just changed all of these sniper films I've watched for my whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh shit, maybe it was possible. But to go back to your original point, yeah, I've never been shooting and I don't know how the fuck anyone actually managed to even get in that position. It's another JFK moment, isn't it? but he got away with it. But you've got to think, how long till someone tries that again? Quick side note and caveat for the podcast: we are not inciting any idea to do anything like that. We think it'd be a very bad idea.
See Trump with a Magneto helmet in future.
Fucking brilliant. Oh, DC, mate. It's all about Marvel.
No, Magneto. Don't start with me, Pete.
Have I got that wrong as well?
Magneto's Marvel.
Is it?
Yes.
Fuck off, is it?
Oh.
I'm going to Google it.
You're Googling if Magneto's in the X-Men. X-Men's Marvel.
X-Men isn't Marvel. Oh, wait, no. X-Men is Marvel. I'll give you that.
Yeah, don't question me on comic books.
Okay, I'm not questioning you on comic books, but... Right, so for anyone that's even bothered about this, we were just driving back to the house to do the podcast, and I was talking about... what was it? The...
Joker.
It was the Joker film, that was it, because apparently the new Joker 2 film, did not know it was a musical, but Hayde gave me a good number in the car.
I'm not sure it's intended to be a musical, but apparently they sing a hell of a lot in it.
Which is weird. But I guess what they're trying to do is lean into the psychotic side of things, where I guess that's quite an easy way of doing it.
Well, yeah, having biting a rat's head off or something actually psychotic. Singing's quite therapeutic.
I mean, that's just Ozzy Osbourne, isn't it?
There's a bat,
yeah. But... I don't know. So we were saying that film was apparently a bit of a flop and then got into the whole Marvel DC debate, and I mixed up X-Men and thought it was DC. But I'm going to be honest with you, X-Men films just never tickled my pickle, mate.
Yeah, there were some good ones. They were the first ones that sort of touched on like time travel and shit.
Wolverine. I'll take that. Wolverine films are good, but the Deadpool ones are kind of funny. But it doesn't really...
I like them just because they're stupid, and it's like...
I mean, Ryan Reynolds is a legend.
Yeah.
Like him and Hugh Jackman.
Have you seen the new one?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, mate, it's good. It's just... There's a bit... I don't want to ruin it, but there's actually quite a few bits. He just like, it's not doing that. It's not said that. That's fucking brilliant. It's clever, and it's just
Wait, is it still
witty.
in cinema?
I'm not sure. It's on my Fire Stick now. Not that I've got it illegally chipped or anything like that.
No. Disclaimer.
Allegedly.
I mean, if it's on, I'll watch it because I know my partner likes it. She finds it really funny, so I'll give it a watch. But that was it. We were talking Gladiator 2.
Oh, yeah.
But tell the listeners what you said to me because I'm deeply offended by it a little bit.
Oh, no, it's just Gladiator 1 was the first DVD that I'd got that came with my PlayStation 2.
Old school.
And so it's always been cemented in my head as like a standalone, no sequel film. And I'm not quite sure I'm ready for a sequel.
But Denzel's in it, man. Denzel Washington, he's king.
He's a good actor.
Although, who's the main chap in it from before? I can't remember his bloody name. Let me Google that quick.
What, Russell Crowe, is he?
Russell Crowe, that's the one, yeah. He's not in it.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It's not about...
I agree
Maximus
with that.
or whoever it was.
Well, no, isn't it his son?
I don't know.
Have you not watched the trailer?
I've seen it to see characters, but not really followed or tried to grasp any storyline to it.
I think it's his son. I might be making that up, but it's kind of like a legacy lived on from him, which I get. It kind of works, but I mean, Russell Crowe was kind of what made Gladiator.
Yeah.
So him not being in it makes it feel like a money grab. Like
although he looks a bit different now. He's not as chiseled, is he?
No, he's not as chiseled at all. No, he's before they chiseled the statue. I think he's just the blob of stone. But I mean, it would still be a good film. I'm going to go watch it. Worst thing is I'm more excited for Moana 2 at the end of the month.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah,
are they still doing a live action?
I don't know. Is it?
Oh, don't tell me I got done over again by a fake thing.
What do you mean live action?
Live action as in The Rock is actually paying Maui as a person, not a cartoon character.
What? I need to Google this. Wait, explain more while I Google. So if
it's just a live version of, or a real life version of Moana.
What? Where?
No,
it's expected to be released in 2026.
Yeah.
Oh, what? So they're doing a real version of it as well?
So The Rock is actually playing...
Fuck off.
That guy is, yeah.
I love the fact we're two fully grown men doing a podcast based on conspiracy theories.
Having
and
daughters,
shit. But yeah,
does do you there. Like,
the worst thing is, there's some catchy songs in that. I'm not gonna lie.
I downloaded the soundtrack for it That and The Greatest Showman was on my Spotify for a long time.
I've got a very interesting but boring fact for you about Moana soundtrack. Which song was it? I think it was Moana anyway. How Far I'll Go. I think it might be that one. I'm pretty sure it's How Far I'll Go. So I was looking at like a track breakdown for it the other day, and
don't ruin it for me. I like that song.
No, it's a good song. It's more about the music theory behind it.
Oh, okay.
If you listen to it, it's in a specific key, and every now and then when she says "How far I'll go," that note on "go" is a note that does not fit in the key of the song. Like it shouldn't be there, but it's kind of a passing note, so you can get away with it. So it's kind of you'd have these two notes. It's in between. So if you do it fast enough, you can get away with putting it in there. And people don't realize. But because she's talking about where she should go, she's not sure if she should. And then partway through the song, it changes to "I'm there" in a way.
Oh, so it goes from sort of questioning herself to knowing.
So it's kind of the music following what she's saying. It's that one note that shouldn't be there. That when she says "How far I'll go," I'm trying not to sing it because I don't want any royalty issues. But when she lands on that note, it's the note that shouldn't be there. And then later on in the song, she talks about being there, and the key changes into the key of that note
of where it fits,
where it should be. And I'll find the full video. I'll send it you. But it's really interesting.
Did you clock that, or is it something that you'd seen that?
No, I didn't clock it. I knew it was a lovely song. To be honest, when I listened to it, I was like, it's really well written. But I saw someone do it, and I was like, no fucking way. That is the sign of someone who is a virtuoso songwriter that knows how to not just play with circle of fifths and what key they're in and write a nice song, but just have a play with the theory behind it and stuff that you wouldn't usually see. It's brilliant. But anyway, getting back to more manly things, I can't remember what we're on about now.
No, it's just...
We've gone off-piste a little bit. I think we were leaning into the American politics thing. And, I mean, let's dive straight into that for a bit because, I mean, how far through are we already? We're about 40 minutes in. We've already covered...
Oh, really?
We have not covered enough.
Oh,
like I've got plenty more to moan about. And for you listeners out there, Hayder's just put a nicotine pouch in. I am 6 days into quitting, and I'm so fucking jealous of him right now.
Sorry. I know what it's like to quit things, so I'm not even going to offer you.
I'm just going to try because I said before we started, obviously, let's not eat because people don't want to hear me chewing. I think, but I want to hear what it sounds like if I vape next to the. Yeah, you don't need that going on every 2 minutes while we're vaping. Yeah. Like my dad will be listening. He'll be like, "Oh, stop it! It's not good."
He's sucking on a robot dick.
Oh, right, now you just ruined it for me. Well, what does that make yours that you just put in your mouth? Robot sperm?
Spearmint flavour. He's been eating his pineapple.
I don't even want to fucking know, mate. Right, so Trump has won. He's going to ruin the world, apparently. But
well, the nukes didn't fly the other day, so...
Well, this is it. That brings us back. The family member I was talking to that was not happy about it and was saying he was a criminal and blah, blah, blah. Yes, he is. But is he going to do well for the country? I feel like me and my dad spoke a lot about it on the last podcast. We didn't really know what was going to happen, so we didn't lean into that. But I feel like what we said stands, that he's going to be better for the country. Give me your 2 cents, because you said after we spoke on the text that we seem to share similar views. I'm interested in to know which ones.
I mean, in general, he's a die-hard American with what I think America's best interests at heart.
Okay. Do you have any opinions about what he's done in the past? I said it last time, grab her right in the pussy. And, you know, he's not a very public-friendly speaker, is he? But
no, but he's human. I don't want someone to represent me, which is nothing... I say stupid shit. You know,
that's what you hear, mate.
Yeah, I make a twat of myself all the time. I don't want to look up and... Again, it goes back to the social media. You seeing a perfect painted picture of something that everyone knows isn't true.
Yeah.
So why has he got to put face paint on and paint his face orange just to look and fit into what has been there before him? I think being so different and so off the cuff has got him to where it's got him, to be honest.
It is. I think
it's also got him in a lot of trouble as well.
Oh, just a bit. But I do think that was just a witch hunt. What they've done recently.
Oh,
I do need a
without a
cough
doubt.
button. I will work on a cough button for now. We've just got a basic setup. I do think it's interesting how you've got people like Joe Rogan, who has him on his podcast, which can only have helped.
That was a flip for me. I never thought he was going to ever endorse any politician or
I didn't
anything
think he would.
publicly. And when I seen that Trump was on there, I was like, oh, this is...
Yeah. Well,
because he'd always said he wouldn't have him on. I was like, oh, I'm not going to have him on. But if I did have him on, this is what I'd ask him.
I think we all kind of thought he likes to remain impartial.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah. Well, I sent you a voice note, didn't I, saying we nearly fell off our chair when we saw it. But the way he's getting out of that at the minute is saying, well, I will have Kamala on as well. But she didn't want to come on. So that just says it all.
Yeah.
But what I was leaning into there was, isn't it interesting how all these people that seem to have been, I don't want to say attacked, but like kind of targeted by mainstream media and these large corporations or people that have a lot of money and influence. So Joe Rogan, John F. Kennedy, Trump, he's been a literally witch hunt, like I said.
Yeah.
And then you've got, who else is there? Elon Musk has started having it since he bought Twitter and released the Twitter files and all that. But this is where me and my dad differed a little bit, because my dad doesn't really like Elon Musk that much. Because there's the whole, apparently Elon's got someone who's quite high up in Twitter who's also a member of the World Economic Forum. So he thinks that they've got their fingers in politics.
Conflict of interest. And,
Do you think Elon is acting in our best interest?
No, Elon's asking... it's working for Elon. He wants...
Yeah. He does wrap it up nicely, doesn't he?
Yeah, but...
I want to give you these lovely robots, these lovely cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to make it so we can all live on Mars together. It sounds great, but...
There's a sinister side to it all, but I don't know whether that's me being conditioned by the likes of iRobot and, you know, all the futuristic sci-fi shit.
I love the film.
watch, but I mean, shame what happened to Will Smith, but yeah.
Mate, I've not really spoke to anyone about that.
I lost a lot of respect for him for that. I've always idolised him from Fresh Prince, and you know, he's been in some great stuff. But
I was talking about this in the office the other day. Let me lean forward again, because it's some serious shit here. This is some serious flashback shit that people are going to get to know. The first album I ever bought in my life, and you can speak to my mother. She will admit to this. Will Smith, Big Willie style. Still, literally...
It's damn sight better than my Spice Girls.
Don't tell me. Was it actually Spice Girls?
It was actually
shit.
Spice Girls,
Do you want me to cut that bit out?
No, it's fine. Out of anything that's going to get me cancelled, it'll be the Spice Girls for the first album.
That's fucking hilarious. YouTube does not agree with your taste in music. Please watch this video to be allowed back on. But yeah, that was the first time I ever bought. I remember the Millennium album. I remember the Born to Rain album. I literally grew up listening to him, thinking I was cool and like hip hop, and then I heard Jay-Z and all this other stuff. No P Diddy, but yeah, and then right, I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm going to let you give me your 2 cents on the whole scenario. Was he right to do what he did? Why do you think he did it?
No.
Or not? I'm playing devil's advocate.
He wasn't... Well, no, I don't know the full sort of depth behind it and what went on between Chris Rock and Jada or whatever. But no, have some respect for yourself, some decorum. If you're going to hit him, do it after.
And don't slap him either, though. That's a real good way of doing it.
I mean, he connected well. He left his front leg wide open for a single leg takedown.
Do you still do all the British Jiu-Jitsu stuff?
No.
Do you not? What did you stop?
COVID.
Really?
Yeah, it was close contact. They couldn't do it, so I started boxing, and then I just
phased out.
Yeah,
I guess you're still getting a lot of like time walking. And
I'm still work out and everything. Yeah.
That's not too bad then.
It was wrong. Have you watched his new special though?
What, Chris Rock?
Yeah.
I
like it. Yeah,
I watched all the stand-up stuff.
Yeah.
But do you think it was staged?
It looked it.
It did look it.
It really did look it, but then...
The thing is, you don't know who in their right mind gets up in the middle of an award ceremony like that knows that it's a stand-up on the stage, so you've just got to accept the fact that he's going to say some nasty shit. And I'm all for stand up for your partner, but technically she's not even. All right, she's the mother of your child as well. I get it, but you don't get up and just do that so publicly when you've got a career to think of.
No, and then when things started coming to light of how much of a cook he seems to be.
Oh mate, that whole situation freaks me out.
Yeah, like that's
like he's just sat at home.
Can get some self-respect.
She's doing what she wants. Nah.
Yeah,
nah. We've done very well to skirt around this topic without offending our partners, I think.
Well, no, because everyone always wants the best for their partner, but he looked scared. He looks like...
Yeah.
Have you seen that interview that they do together?
No, do you know what? My partner's watched a lot of her side of it. Like the what's her name?
Jada.
Yeah, Jada. Is it Jada?
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Man, that sounds like some Star Wars shit. But she's watched a lot of it. But I can't help but watch it. And you know when you've already got some prejudice, there's some bias, and you're like, I just don't like it.
And I think that's where it's came from with me, to be honest, as well. No, she could be a lovely person, but she doesn't seem it.
Yeah, but it's also little things like he didn't respond until she looked at him. Like, are you going to do something about this?
Smiling, laughing along.
Yeah, like, well, we've all been at that. Oh shit, don't laugh. But I don't get it. It's like Prince Harry's missus. They moved away.
Meghan Markle.
I have the same problem with her.
Yeah, I don't like her.
Like it's something about her. I'm just like, I don't believe a word that comes out of your mouth.
No.
So leave me alone. But I don't know. What was I going to say? New comedians. I liked that kind of segue we were going on. You were on about Chris Rock's new one.
Yeah.
I tell you who I want to see a special from. Who's the chap that is doing? Do you watch Kill Tony?
I listened to it online. I've
tried listening to it. I have to watch it because I get 10 minutes in and I'm like, I need to see this person's face.
Some of them come on and
there's
one, I forgot his name, the one who does Biden.
And
Phil.
That's who I was about to talk about. I can't remember his name. For those of you that may not know what it is, it's an open mic night for comedians, and they basically stand on a stage, get 60 seconds uninterrupted to try their stand-up. Some people, it's the first time they've ever been on a stage in their life.
And boy, can't you tell.
Yeah. But there's a panel of usually about 3 or 4 comedians that are like well-established comedians, but they roast them, and they roast them to shit. And there is no joke that's too far on this thing, and it is brutal.
Yeah.
But it's fucking funny.
It is. It's like, just like everyone who's there seems to take it at face value of what it is, just jokes.
Yeah, well, I think that's the good thing about it.
Yeah.
If people were just getting really offended, but can you imagine going and not knowing that that's what it's about? You know, being like, I don't know, it's like taking my dad. He'd probably find it funny eventually.
Taking a vegan to a steakhouse.
Pretty much. And I mean, we'll leave then. Adam Ray.
Yes, that's the one, yeah.
And he did one.
He'd done a character, didn't he?
Jeffrey.
I can't remember his name.
What's up?
Yes,
that guy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was in tears, and I was trying to show Kay because she hadn't watched the whole thing. It just didn't really make sense.
I hadn't watched it. It took me until they sat him down on the panel with him. I was like,
"Did you think it was a real person?"
Yes, I was listening to it. I wasn't watching it. Like, I didn't know.
Mate.
It didn't twig until the last minute. I was like, it makes more sense now.
He's so funny.
Yeah, he is.
But I've followed him on social media, whatever pages, and he's that funny even without doing a character.
Yeah.
Because he does Dr. Phil as well.
Yeah, he did. And I thought that was Dr. Phil. I actually thought it was Dr. Phil. Like the first few shorts I'd watched, I was like, I even said to Keely, Dr. Phil's got really funny. Like,
we'll be right back. You can read about that in my book, Chapter 5, How to Get Away with Podcasts.
That's not a bad impression.
But he's just recently posted something. Dr. Phil's agreed to do something on stage with him.
Oh, really?
So he's going to dress up as Dr. Phil, and they're going to... But, I mean, did you watch the Dr. Phil podcast on Rogan?
Yeah, it was a bit slow, I thought.
It's a bit slow, but he is not who I thought he was.
No.
All I've ever done is seen the adverts of Dr. Phil, and he just looks like your classic Jerry Springer, Jeremy Kyle for the UK lot kind of person. And you just think, oh, what a wanker. I bet he goes off stage and goes, they're all twats. But then you see him, he turns up with Joe Rogan in like a leather coat, and he's like, yo, what's up, Joe? And he's all right. I think it's strange, but he's on board with a lot of the stuff that they go on about on there.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Which is weird.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that, but... I don't know. He's a fucking brilliant comedian, but I want to go to more stand-up stuff around the UK. I just don't find there's a lot.
Going to see Paul Smith.
Paul Smith. Oh, Hot Water Comedy Club.
Yeah.
I've seen him, mate.
Oh, have you?
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, going next year, yeah.
Where are you going? Liverpool?
No, it's like, it might be Birmingham.
Birmingham?
It might even be Cov.
Oh, okay. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Don't sit in the front row.
Right. So it's in the similar vein. This Hot Water Comedy Club is a similar thing in the UK where it's comedians that
do a lot of crowd work, don't they?
Yeah, it's all crowd work. It's brutal. If you go in, expect to have the piss taken out of you. When we went to Liverpool, we popped in there, and my partner had bought us tickets, and I didn't realise, and she gave them to me because she knew I'd watched loads of it, and I was really excited, but at the same time I was quiet, and she was like, "Are you all right? Like, what's up? I thought you'd enjoy this." And I had to just sit and explain to her, I was like, "I can't wait. I'm just praying that I'm put in the front because I'm a little blonde boy. I am literally ripe for the picking in front of them lot." And I was like, "Fuck, if I hope we don't. I hope we don't." But when we got in, because you don't get to pick where you sit. When you walk in, they tell you where you're sitting. There's people in the crowd that kind of go, "Right, you lot down here, you lot down here," and they blatantly look for you.
Yeah. He looks like a sap. Sit him on the front row.
Yeah, you're 6 foot and lanky. You're 4 foot and fat. Come on, you two over here. Like, it's definitely that. But we got lucky. But even when you're laughing, you're like, I don't want to laugh too loud.
Yeah,
in case they hear my laugh.
Don't make me stand out.
It is fucking funny though. Paul is fast. That's the best thing about it. I didn't realise you like all that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Oh mate, I'm going to flood your inbox. I'm just going to send you links to stuff. Right? I think that's as far as I can get. Paul, he cracks some jokes that to us are probably hilarious, but when my partner overhears them, she's a bit like, you know, you get the eyebrow. Yeah, it's a bit far, but she still likes it.
Matt Rife as well. He says some shit which even he turns around and goes, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that. That's going to get me cancelled."
Matt Rife, American dude.
Yeah, pretty.
Looks like he's got one of them Instagram filters on with the cheekbones. Like,
good jawline and yeah.
Wait, let me just double check. Yes, we watched his latest Netflix thing. Did you watch it?
I've not watched it. No.
It's interesting because. Small room, not big arena, and I quite like the small room comedy stuff because it's a bit more personal. And he just sits on a stool, and none of it's planned. It's the whole thing is crowd work.
Oh, okay.
And all he's doing is just asking. He keeps one topic. He says, "I just want to stay on the topic of dreams for the whole time I'm here." And it goes from people's dreams to become a pilot to a guy from the army that kept having wet dreams with his platoon or whatever. But it's fucking funny, and he is funny. But it says something about a comedian when they can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, did you hear what he did? I don't think it was his last one. It might have been one before. They tried to cancel him about a joke. Yeah.
What joke?
I can't remember the joke, but his response, he posted on X or whatever. Yeah. Look, I've took the time to address the criticism, blah, 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 blah. Click the link to see my full apology. And you click the link and it takes you to like a eBay or Amazon page for a special needs helmet.
Fuck off.
That was his apology. Basically,
I want to know what the joke is. A special needs. Fucking hell.
So obviously it all went off again.
Do you know, because my partner, she thinks he's great. Do you know, if he did a tour around here, I'd go. Where is that? Oh, they all look like in America, those ones. Yeah. But I'm going to have to tell her about this because she might change her opinion on him. What was it? Kind of like banned joke. If I put that in, let's see what we get.
That's about the date. Yeah, comedian Matt Rife is facing backlash for his new Netflix
domestic violence joke. Okay, right. We're going to pause for a second, watch this, and then we'll come back. Or at least I'll leave it running. We'll just cut it out. So we'll come back. Right. Okay. We're back.
It's gold, isn't it?
It's fucking brilliant. And do you know what? It's not even that bad a joke.
No, I've
heard well worse.
Yeah,
like, I mean, we're already not getting on YouTube with some of the shit we've said. So it's basically a joke about domestic violence, and he's saying that a woman wouldn't have a black eye if she could cook properly. All right. Probably not very appropriate.
It wasn't that much of a funny joke either, to be honest.
Yeah,
it got a little giggle.
It feels more like one of them passing jokes.
Yeah,
to lead you into a bigger one, you know. But I mean, it sings true to this cancel culture.
Yeah,
like the comment there that most of his fan base was female, so they're having a backlash at him. oh, fuck off. Like, if you like him as a comedian, you like him as a comedian.
Yeah, you
It's
like
not-
his work. Like,
Yeah.
you might not like a joke.
It's very funny though. Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The link takes you to a bright pink special needs helmet. Oh, it looks more like a skateboard helmet or something.
But it's on a
still.
site designed specially for that.
I mean, that says something about him though. That he's just not willing to.
Yeah. Like, fuck you.
Well, I mean, you find that with a lot of comedians, don't you? You're a Chappelle fan.
Yeah, I've not watched a lot of his stuff, but
It's you have to have a specific taste, or at least you have to give it a time for it to kind of go. Okay, I get who he is, and it is funny. But he's the same. He doesn't take any shit. What was the? He did Chappelle Show, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was like the American version of like Bo Selector, was it?
Pretty much, but a bit more brutal.
Oh, okay.
Because he'd have like crack people and stuff. Like, but he'd be impersonating them. Like he'd purposely wear like loads of homeless clothes and cover himself in flour and walk around like crack. You know, what's up, crack? Like, it was like South Park mixed with Bo Selector, if you think. But I can't remember what it was. I think some of the networks were trying to make him do stuff, and he just tried to fuck you. But he was getting paid a ton of money for doing it, and he just went, no, fuck you. And I think that got him a lot of respect, because he could have carried on and just been this bread and butter comedian that got a lot of money, you know. But I don't know. I think he's probably one of the greats. And you see people like Matt Rife and this Adam Ray. They seem to be the next few that are coming up.
Well, that Matt Rife's been doing it since he was about 14 or something. He did his first open mic. He wasn't old enough. He had to get his mum and dad to sign like a waiver that it was okay to be in the comedy club because they served alcohol. Yeah.
I bet she didn't want to sign, so we hit her in the face. Sorry, was that too far?
Back in the kitchen.
What was I going to say? No, it's gone. Oh, fuck it, I don't know. So, I mean, in terms of comedians, though, that was it. I've got a controversial opinion. Did you watch Joe Rogan's latest special on Netflix?
I didn't know.
He did it live, and I think you can tell. Because...
Yeah, that's got to be a hard room, though, surely.
Oh, yeah. It's
to do it live as well, especially when they don't normally take just one recording to make the live. To make the special.
They piece together 5 or 6, don't they? But... I don't know. I don't know if it's because we're not American, so some stuff is just funnier to them, their style and all that. But it didn't float my boat like some of his older ones, and I was disappointed in that because I thought
my favourite bit is his Kim Kardashian bit where he climbs on his stool and starts growling.
He turns into the demon. Yeah. Well, that's what I thought I was going to get.
Yeah,
steroid Joe Rogan, you know, and he's just too much energy to him, and it just seemed a bit reserved and calm, and I was like, is he going into politics? It sounds like he might. But, I don't know. It was strange. But
bouncing back to Trump. What I did want to say is, I suppose it goes with a joke thing. You can like someone, but not everything about them.
Yes. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the abortion stuff?
Okay. I think it should be an option. Yeah. You know, there's no argument about it. You shouldn't just ban it and say no. If it happens, it happens. Because when you think there's women out there that end up in situations that how do I put this politely? It wasn't consensual.
Yeah.
At all, and then they end up in that position where they're going to have to raise a child that obviously they'll love, but super complicated. That it should be an option for everyone. Then the main debate is always when.
Yeah.
Which I get. I personally haven't made my mind up about when I think is acceptable or when's normal. I think, pardon me, is there a point at which they can determine that a child growing inside a woman has got consciousness? I think once it's conscious that it's alive, then it's not fair.
I agree with that, but the fact that it's such a sliding scale that you probably couldn't ever determine it.
I think that's it.
It all just falls down to a moral thing by that female themselves. In terms of if they're comfortable getting it aborted at 38, then that's something they've got to live with, and that's something they've accepted.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that I agree with it.
it's such a tricky topic, but I think the only thing that we both agree to disagree with is just making it not legal.
Yeah.
But they're making it in certain places now in America, aren't they? Where even if you went to a different state where it was legal, then came back, you still get in trouble for it. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's not fair.
Yeah, no, that's not fair. That's like
it's like flying over
me
to
going
Amsterdam.
to Amsterdam, getting stoned as coming back here and getting arrested for doing that. Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. But, I mean, none of us would do that. It's not good. Not good at all.
Amsterdam's awesome. The architecture is amazing.
All I remember is the bakeries.
The baked bakeries.
Yeah, I mean, it was like Greg's is shit compared to what they've got out there. It's like fresh. And
remember that? I can't remember what it was called. Keely went mad for it. It's like a fast food thing. You got loads of little like oven microwave things on the wall, and you pick which one you want, put your money in, and you open the door and get it out.
No,
like a cheese and ham croquette things. They're just it was just like a wall. No one's serving you. It was like self-serve.
What? No, I don't remember that at all. No. I mean, I don't remember a lot, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I didn't eat that. Keely did, but
strange. I mean, I'd go for it, but at the same time, I'd be a bit like, how long's that been in there?
Yeah, that's my thoughts with it exactly. Yeah,
it could have been there for weeks. But do you know what? Is it China or Japan that wins the vending machine game? I can't remember which one it is.
Possibly, they're both pretty high tech with it.
Sounds like it'd be Japan, to be honest. They do some crazy shit, but their vending machines are nuts. You could go over there and fucking get a panda for £2, you know? Okay, not actually a panda.
Munching a stick of bamboo.
No, I think...
Actually, speaking of animals, did you watch that Chimp Crazy?
Oh, wait, Chimp Crazy?
Is it Chimp Crazy?
No, I watched... it was like Chimp City or something.
Oh, you on about the ones where they're actually in the rainforest?
Yeah, they're observing them.
Yeah. Oh no, this one's about crazy Americans that keep them as pets.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Tiger King.
It's made by the same people.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wait, is it new?
It's the past 2 months.
Chimp Crazy. Wait, what's it on?
Netflix.
Oh shit, I've heard about this. What the fuck? Mate, she looks weird. Are you telling me she keeps these monkeys in bunk beds?
Yeah.
Fuck right off.
Not all of them. She keeps the little ones in the bunk beds, and then the bigger ones sort of...
I mean, she looks bonkers. She looks like Momo fell into an Instagram filter and then decided to like monkeys. Oh, by the way, trick-or-treating this year, knocked on the door, and some bloke opened the door wearing a Momo mask. Like, obviously everyone else didn't know what it was, and I looked at him and went, "It's that Momo," and he was just like, "Oh yeah, I didn't realise until the kids told me." And I was like, "That's horrific." Like, I literally said to him, I said, "Forget the kids, I'm not going to sleep tonight. Thanks for that. I forgot it exists." Like, fucking creepy. But anyway, sorry. Yeah,
I've not watched it.
Tell me more. What?
You've obviously heard of the stories of people getting the face ripped off by the chimps.
Yeah.
It's just. It starts off as they're keeping them in this chimp zoo, and then they start breeding them and selling them, and they're just not getting enough stimulation.
I mean,
they're cute as fuck.
Has this got a bad ending to it? Like, does he...
No, there's not.
So there's not even an ending, it's just they go and follow him for a bit?
Pretty much. But yeah, because of who he is, and he did Tiger King, no one trusts him, so he has to get a proxy director or producer working to front him so he could get into the community. And
that's weird. Why wouldn't they trust him? Because I don't think he did a bad thing for Tiger King. It was just the fact that that bloke was so fucking mental.
You've just described how she looks, mate. She's in the same vein.
Then it does beg the question, where does he find these people? Like,
America.
He's doing something
America.
Right. America. Yeah. No, mate, I'm definitely going to watch this though. It does. This leads us on quite neatly to Ancient Apocalypse.
Oh, I've not watched all the new ones yet.
Have you not?
No.
Now, obviously, in case you can't tell, we are both fans of Joe Rogan, and from that, Is it Graham Lincoln?
Not Graham Lincoln.
Oh no, it's not Graham Lincoln. You just want to say Graham Norton.
I did say Graham Norton.
He's a presenter. Hancock, that's the one. Graham Hancock. He's on there a lot, but he has this alternate theory that I think it's like 12,000 years ago, there was actually an apocalyptic event.
The Younger Dryas.
The Younger Dryas impact theory, yeah. Definitely worth a watch, but it kind of throws archaeology on its back, doesn't it? And says there's a lot more that went on that you don't understand. So where have you got to? Because I don't want to ruin it. Anything.
I downloaded it actually to watch while I was camping. I think I fell asleep for the first episode because I was knackered.
It is one of the programs. His voice just sends you to sleep, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of like an Attenborough type thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But no, I will get around to watching it. Do
you believe it?
Yeah.
I do.
And I don't know whether it's the child in me wanting to believe that there was something a bit more special and spectacular.
Oh, it's not that. It's Keanu Reeves is in it.
Oh, yeah. I did get to that bit, actually, where they're standing on the...
you got further than I thought then. I don't think it's the last episode, but...
I thought it was...
No. Well, there's a clip of it in the first episode, I think.
Oh, okay.
But you don't see the full discussion until later on. But, I won't go into too much detail with it, but I believe it. I think it explains so much.
Yeah.
Like, not just
It makes sense, though. I don't see how people can say it's crazy.
Well, no, I don't think anyone's saying it's crazy. I think it's just archaeologists are... I don't know how to politely put it again. Basically, they're going after him saying, don't dismiss everything that we've spent years learning.
Yeah.
They just don't want that to happen. But I definitely say, not just in terms of archaeology, but in terms of religion, it makes a lot of religious stories make sense. Like a big flood.
A big flood happened. Yeah, but that goes throughout every religion.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But if it's a cataclysmic event, as he loves using that fucking word... It makes sense. It happened all around the world. So there's all these different cultures that have got the same story but with different characters.
There's a place in the Peak District called the Woolpacks.
Okay.
And you're up there, top of a hill, looking over the top of Sheffield and places like that. And there's these big, massive rocks. I'm talking 20, maybe 30 foot high, some of them. And you can see the water erosion on it. I'm not joking. You're already, like, pull it up, Woolpacks.
How do I spell that?
Wool packs.
Like that?
Yeah.
Packs like that?
Yeah, Peak District.
Let's have a look. Oh, okay. Yeah, these look similar to...
yeah, see, there's bigger ones like that.
And Easter Island. He goes there. Have you watched those
They've
episodes?
not quite got heads on it.
No, they haven't. But in terms of the smooth stones that look... Yeah,
and you can see... It's not really showing you any of the big ones.
Let's have a look. You're talking like these?
Yeah, like if you click on some of them, you can see defined areas like that. Look,
okay,
it looks like where the water level's been sitting for a long enough period of time to.
What he's pointing out is the rocks are quite kind of like a vase shape, where it's kind of been eroded over time. But it's definitely worth a Google.
But there's some of them which are really defined, and I remember walking up there and just thinking that's mad. We're already at, I don't know, maybe 1,000 feet above sea level.
And there was water.
There's it looks like there's water been here.
Well, I mean, I don't know enough about the movement of tectonic plates and all this kind of stuff over time, but was the UK ever underwater then? It must have been at some point. I mean, that's a Chat GPT question if I've ever seen one.
I was meant to ask you, do you use Chat GPT? Actually?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I live by it. I've not really told you this, but...
that's how you got your masters.
Yeah, no, it's not. But you can see all the weird stuff I've been asking.
How to remove dildo from anal cap?
Mate, it was a painful weekend, all right. But some things you've just got to learn by doing. Okay, no, I'll tell you the story without naming names. This is a bone of contention of mine at the minute. How large companies get away with ripping off the little man. So, a telecoms company that we had a contract with, let's say last March, we started a 18-month contract, which will give it away to most people if they know enough about the contracts. And that was fine. But then about 3-4 months ago, we moved house, didn't we? And I rang up their home move department and said, oh, can you just move our services here? Like, I've already seen you've got a line. Like, I can see it on the house. So just move the services over. We'll carry on. We've got about 4 months left on our contract. Chap on the phone, lovely. Yeah, no worries. What day are you moving in? Congratulations. We'll move it on this date, the day before, so it's all ready. You can just take your router with you, plug it in. Love it. Great. Could have some fun. Then it gets about 3-4 months after, and I call up because, the offer's ending. You see the price going up. He going, I'm not paying 100 quid a month, blah, blah, blah. So I rang him up, like, can you fucking move this, please? And no even offer to say, do you want to stay with us? We'll give you another offer. None of that. So I was like, just cancel it. And they were like, okay, but there will be early termination charges. And I was like, for what? So you can tell that the offers are ending, my contract's ended. And they were like, oh no, you started a new contract 4 months ago. And I was like, no, I fucking didn't. Then obviously, probably the culmination of about 4 hours worth of calls to billing departments and home move people, where they're reassuring me. They're going, oh, we're really sorry. It's an accident on our end. Really sorry. We'll just apply a credit on your account so it won't come out. Because I got a bill for £582.
What?
And I was like, you can fuck off. Pro rata billing says I owe you about £2, and then I'm gone. So I thought I was going to give them £2.
How quick was your internet for that?
Well, no, it's because they've gone, you've got 14 months left of a contract at full price because it's no offer on it. So I was like, I'm paying pretty much the whole thing in one go. No one does that with car insurance, let alone with a fucking phone bill. But, and I was just like, I'm not having this. And they said they'll apply a credit. So I thought, okay, if you're going to apply a credit, wicked. Got the email through and it says it can take up to 28 days to turn up on your account. So I thought, well, my direct debit goes out in 2 weeks. So if this credit's not applied, I'm pretty sure direct debits can't be changed after a certain amount of time. And I was like, so I rang them up, not happy about this, blah, blah, blah. Another 2 hours. Got through to some manager, apparently. You'd be like, just let me speak to your manager. I was purposely not angry.
You're quite good on the phone as well. You get to where you need to.
I worked in departments for telecoms companies doing this. So I was like, I know not to swear. I know not to raise my voice because it won't get me anywhere. And being honest, it's not the person on the other end of the phone's fault, really. But got to the manager. Oh, I'm going to sort this out for you today. It will not come out of your account. I'm going to do it now. I was like, brilliant. Reloaded the page the next morning and it said paid, but it didn't say that the bill number had gone down to 0. And I was like, that's weird, but it looks like something's happening. So I was like, I'll leave it. And it got to a week before and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to leave the money in there. Because thankfully, we're not in a position where that would have, so I'm going to leave the money in there. It's going to be a tight month, but we'll see what happens. And if they take it, they're pricks. But we'll see. They took it. So I rang them up, having a go, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we're really sorry. We'll get it sorted for you. I was like, well, you already told me you're going to sort it. You told me it wouldn't even happen in the first place. And then they said, oh, I think I went through the official complaints procedure then. I also contacted their CEO. Didn't get a reply. What do you expect? I mean, when he sees my email address pop up, it's not the most formal. So he's probably just gone, oh, fuck's that? Piss off.
Let's throw tampons at hotmail.com.
Well,
emailing me.
Not quite, but... And I was fuming, and they went, oh, yeah, well, we're going to have to send you in a check. And I was like, a check? And they're like, yeah, it can take up to 45 days. I was like, so, whoa, hang on. You've already taken the money.
Still do checks.
What's what I thought? And I'm going to have to wait 2 months for you to give him the money back. And do you know what? That's not fair. So I'm at the point I'm going to the ombudsman about it now. And it's pissed me off more because it's not my fault. They've admitted it's their fault. And they've just taken £600 out of my account, and it's going to take 2 months to get it back. Oh, plus the added insult to injury, I have to waltz down to the bank. Hello, Mr. Bankman. Can I pay my own money back?
And then wait 5 business days for it to clear.
Exactly. And I'm going, but if I walked into the bank and went, can I borrow 600 quid? He'd be like, absolutely. But in the space of 2 months, you're going to have to give me £1,000 back because it's called interest. I'm like, I'm not a fucking bank, Mr. Telecoms company, whoever it is.
You want to send them an invoice for the interest on
I do. But yeah, it really fucked me off.
What were you going to ask GPT anyway?
Oh shit, I can't remember. Oh yeah, right. Has the UK ever been underwater? That was it.
Yeah, large parts of it.
The Carboniferous period, about 360 to 300 billion years ago. The Jurassic period, about 200 to 145 billion years ago. Cretaceous. And then I guess we're more interested in the earliest, the Ice Age, which is 2.6 million to 11,000
years ago,
which coincides with the Younger Dryas impact, which is where you start going, all right, everyone likes to make out he's nuts, this Graham Hancock, but you can't help it when things just keep pointing back to that number.
Keep lining up.
Now, we briefly mentioned this.
Although I just want to point out, that's a hell of a gap. 2.6 million to 11,700. There's a slight difference in there, but
let's not skirt around that. Yeah. But it does still kind of dictate that about 12,000 years ago, something happened that ended this.
Yeah.
And if there was any form of comet impact and things like that, it would, so, okay. But what I do like is, I promise one day I'll do a podcast without mentioning the name David Icke. I feel like I need to do a quick disclaimer to everybody that might listen to this that I'm not an advocate of this.
Give me a bit back. I don't know too much about the dude.
Right, used to be a Coventry City Football Club goalkeeper. Then must have been hit in the head a few times and suddenly became this bloke that was looking into conspiracy theories and working out the world. Similar to what we're doing now, but he got a bad rap because at one point he started talking about reptile people and shit. I think he'd been in America and heard a lot of people talking about this theory, which, all right, Google it. There is a lot of people out there today that still believe. I've been in a few
rabbit holes about
like flat earthers.
I've been in a few rabbit holes about that as well.
Yeah, and do you know
just
what?
Trying to see their point of view, and I can't see it.
Do you know what my favourite theory for that is? Go and stand on a beach and watch a ship sail off.
Yeah.
You will see the mast last because the Earth is curved. But then their argument would be, but it's just such a big flat that there's hills. But still, we can get into that in a minute if you want. I don't know a lot about it, to be honest. I've heard that there's people out there, but I'm such a physics kind of guy and astrology. I just can't fathom it.
I just like to try and see if it's the same as everything, whether it's COVID conspiracies and that. I think it will. The reason why a lot of people get into it is just to try and see it from the other side. And then when you stand back and realise that this other side's making more sense than what supposedly is the right side by social norms.
But that's where what we're doing right now is important. That's where this alternate media is what people seem to be craving. Because for so long we've lived in a world where you just accept what you're told. But the problem is we also have a society or a culture, I don't know what you'd want to call it, where if you're not on my side, I hate you.
Yeah.
Where what we're trying to say here is it's actually more interesting to find people that have conflicting views and not just fucking shame them and send them shitty messages on X and go at them. It's more interesting to understand it and then make your own decision. And I think that's what people need beating back into them. To understand that nobody in this world is the same. Everyone has different opinions, but that's what makes us
what the fuck we're doing.
Oh no, we're all just flying around on a rock thinking we know what's best. I don't know. But just to quickly go back to
David Icke.
David Icke. I mean, he believes very strongly in all this kind of COVID's not real. I mean, all that kind of stuff and the control of the media and the masses and why the World Economic Forum's bad, all that kind of stuff, which fine. I'm, like we've said, all open to hearing other people's opinions, but when we were there, it felt like a cult.
Yeah.
I've never been to an event like that before. And it's weird because I talk to some people and they look at me like I'm suddenly the tin hat crazy person. But I look at other people that know me and they go, oh, I bet that was a really interesting experience. Because I know that you're not the type of person that's just walked out there and gone, well, I've got a new group that I follow. I've just walked out there.
These are my ideologies.
Yeah. It's such a weird thing. We didn't know the location of the event until 24 hours before.
Oh, really? Did he get a lot of backlash?
Yeah. I mean, apparently he's banned from Europe. No, like he's just not allowed to go to Europe, and he went into that, and I can't be asked to give him even the publicity. Not that there's a lot of it here, and when you go in there, you get this feeling that everybody in the crowd will believe whatever he says because they're not there to have an interesting discussion like we are. They're there just to go, what do I believe next, David? That it's that, and he'll say certain things, and they'll all be cheering like, oh God, David, and you're like, this is creepy. This is a cult. That kind of mentality. Oh shit, you're not. I don't want privacy is important, but one woman stood up and she was just like, oh, I love you so much, David. I would marry you tomorrow. And we believe everything you say. We would follow you to the ends of the earth. Can you tell me how I can look after my child? And I'm just going, fuck me. This is like a church.
Yeah, that does sound like it.
It is. I thought he was going to walk up and hold her forehead like, my child.
You are cured.
Yeah, just slap her with a fish and be like, yeah, let's break bread. But it was just... unsettling, but interesting. Because you just kind of go, that's the fine line between the conversation we're having now and it being nuts.
Yeah.
But he went on just to let everyone in. I don't know how many people know about what happens in these
things. Has he been wrong? Does he admit that he was potentially wrong on anything that is said, or is he, putting his foot down and be like, no, that's definitely
to give my dad his credit, that's the reason we went, because my dad's the same. He finds it interesting, different points of views and stuff. And he said, I know he spoke about reptile people. That's fucking crazy. And he also spoke about it like souls. Like we're all just vessels. And when we die, we go to these different planes and then we can get reincarnated. And at that point, me and my partner and my dad were all like, oh, why did we sit in the middle? Because we can't even sneak out right now. Like, oh, shit. But we got weirder looks because everyone had clapped. And it'd just be us three in the middle like, I'm not clapping that. Like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But so we knew he had wild opinions. But my dad said that over the past 20, 30 years, if you look at some of the stuff he was saying 20 years ago, it's true now.
Yeah. Well, this
was
my point with that question. Whereas Alex Jones, he openly admits that he's been wrong about some stuff. And I think that shows a certain level of character that if you can take a step back and be like, oh yeah, I was wrong on that one. I'm more inclined to believe the other stuff that you've said.
Yeah. If you're willing to take a knee and go, fucked it. Shit.
It's not, I'm always right, listen to me.
But I didn't quite get that feeling from David Icke.
No.
I got the feeling that, because it got brought up by one person asked a question and he went, oh yeah, well I did obviously talk about the reptile people quite a long time ago, but we've moved on from that now. Like he didn't go, oh I was fucking bonkers and wrong and talking out my arse there. He just didn't want to talk about it, which made me kind of go, you're playing a game here because it's bringing in money. Because the money we paid to go watch, I instantly looked at my partner and went, I'm sorry. Like it wasn't a lot, but you kind of went, fuck me, it's like we've just been indoctrinated for 3 hours and paid for it. Like what the fuck? But when you work out, he must have purely off ticket sales made 12, 13 grand for that one night. And I'm talking, this was in a function room at a hotel.
If I could go and speak shit for 3 hours and earn 12 grand, I
mean, we would, yeah. But there's certain dangers to it. I understand that. Like he's got to a point where, there's this woman that would follow him to the ends of the earth. He could say to her, drink battery acid. You wouldn't want her to ever do it, but he's in that position where he's got too much power. Yeah. And it's like, no.
Has he got too much power or are people too fucking crazy?
Bit of both, quite honestly. But here's the bit that I think you'll find interesting. Because I know you're very scientific-minded, and when it comes to the scientific method, you have a hypothesis, you create a method, you test, you retest if you need to, you analyze, you conclude, evaluate, include, whatever. So you don't just conclude. But David Icke, quite openly said, and this is what really lost me, he will pick the conclusion first. He'll go, I know what it is they're doing, and he'll work backwards and look for the evidence. And me and you both know that is a bad way of doing it. You can find a correlation between anything if you really want to.
And it's already given you a confirmation bias on the data that you would be looking at.
Exactly. And that's where I just kind of thought, right, you've lost me now, because I don't like the way you're going about doing it. And
if I'm not wrong, I do think there are some high-level scientists that do use that method.
I mean, I'm sure there's some quantum physics.
I was thinking sort of quantum physics.
I've read a couple of books. If you read that one where it's photons shooting through two holes in a piece of paper, and when you don't look at it, the photons are everywhere. But when you do look at it, they're only in the gaps.
Your consciousness affecting the environment around you, and I don't know it all, but
I'll have to reread the book, to be honest, to talk about it confidently on here. But it's interesting. But Graham Hancock, the reason I give him more credibility is because when you look at what he's doing, it's more factual now.
Yeah,
and he's going, I'm not just connecting random dots and saying aliens exist. He's going, but I've got so much empirical evidence showing the same fucking date,
and the patterns getting dismissed. It's
the more he does it, the more validity he's going to get. The more ground he's going to make, and I think eventually they might have to just cave and say, right, let's talk, and let's weave this into the history books, but it's interesting. Did you see the LiDAR in the Amazon? Did you see that bit?
Of the underground
mounds, if you want to call them that. Yeah. When
I have seen pictures, drone. Not on that, but...
Oh, it's fascinating, because for anybody listening, for some reason I still speak to them like there's like two people, but whatever. Hi, Dad. They've just got a drone with like a LiDAR thing, like a radar, and they fly it over. They know where these old kind of encampments, or whatever you call them, were, just on the edge of the Amazon. And they fly it over just a small area, and you start seeing loads of them under the canopy and under the trees that you wouldn't notice when you were walking through there. You'd just think it was a little mound and stuff. And they just kept going and kept going. There's loads of them. And it just says, the Amazon at one point was populated by a large civilization that we just know nothing about. And you're going, you need to watch the series.
Yeah, I'm
finish the series now. And then when we do this again, it'll be fun. I mean, how far have we got in? We've been rambling for ages. We are an hour and a half. An hour and a half, that's pretty good, not too bad. The only thing we've not mentioned really.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, this is it's off.
Oh, okay.
So you have to just discount that by one. The only thing we've not touched on is aliens. Now, is that something we tackle next time or now?
We've got time for a bit of alien talk, haven't we? I'm all for it. I mean, I remember when you were at Derby, I've always been an early riser. So I'd wake up early, everyone else is still asleep, hungover, whatever, and I'll just lie there and just get into YouTube rabbit holes about UFOs. And I'd love it. I'd go back and do it again. It was awesome. Not that I don't claim to know. Yes, there definitely are, but it's not.
Have you ever experienced anything that you think might have been?
Once, and I was in.
Ooh, okay.
I was in year 11 because I was a prefect and I was staying behind at school to show people around on an open evening. And there was me and another lad, Govey. He was head boy, straight as an arrow. He didn't make stuff up.
Okay.
And we went up to the tennis court because we were skiving a little bit. And there was just this light in the sky, and it was bright, but it was far away, like small.
Okay.
And it moved, and it just shot off. And that was it. It was nothing, didn't sing and dance or anything like that. It just moved and just shot off. And we were both sort of, what the fuck was that?
So, wait, this couldn't have been like a laser pen. No, you see what I'm getting at with the angle of incidence?
No, there was no... You normally get like the light. If it's a laser pen, you can sort of see a direction it's coming from, can't you?
Yeah.
But the way it moved, it wasn't quick. It just sort of glided across, sort of, I want to say overhead, but it wasn't overhead, but towards overhead. And then it went back the way it came, and it was just gone. This was before I'd ever took a single drug in my life. So.
And then you woke up the next day and you're 34. My partner had a weird moment the other day. She woke up in the morning and I'd already gone. I'd left for work. And you can check my Ring camera history to show that I did not come back in the house. But she swears that she rolled over and, the door as you walk in, she was facing that way. And she froze. And, you just can't move. And the door just opened and then just shut. And she got up like half an hour later after, I think she just was that scared, she just pretended it didn't happen and kind of rolled back over like, oh my God. And then when she got up, the door wasn't just ajar, like it could have been a draft. It was shut, like clicked shut. And I mean, firstly, if there's a random bloke living in my attic, get the fuck out. But
oh, sorry, I've got nowhere to go now.
It's all right, I'll get dinner on. But yeah, it just fucking freaked me out. And I'm not saying aliens, but still paranormal shit can happen. Do you believe in that aspect of it as well?
See, this is where ghosts and that. No, I don't think I do.
That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
I think the whole paranormal ghosts and seances and stuff like that. I don't think that's true. I don't think it is.
I was the cunt that would move the glass on a Ouija board when we'd do it.
It doesn't surprise me. It does not surprise me. And I was the cunt that would cry afterwards, like, it's real. But yeah, the ghosts and the paranormal stuff, the poltergeists into. Sorry, your kid's not possessed. He's just a little shit.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
Stick him on some Ritalin and pass some my way.
Stop flicking holy water at him and just send him to summer camp. He'll come back normal. But yeah, the alien stuff. Do you think we're gonna encounter it in our lifetime?
This is what really fucks me off about it all. I don't think we ever will. Aliens, some of the other conspiracies we mentioned, I don't think I'm ever going to know.
Within our lifetime?
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's the irony of it. Musk is trying to get us over to it. Well, his aim is interplanetary, isn't it? And I don't think he's doing that because he thinks within our life we'll be interplanetary and flying all over this place, Star Wars style.
We will be the aliens.
Yeah, well, yeah. I feel like he's just doing it so that future generations can, which is quite noble of him, but he's going to make a fucking packet at the same time. So, fine. Yeah. But do you not think that even like through some form of radio wave we'll make contact that way? Because I get what you're saying, the vastness of the universe, us being able to travel from point A to point B, it's so vast that we'd have to do some mind-bending physics of some sort to move from point A. You know, when you see this kind of whole warping of space-time, so that
so you pull it closer together, hop over, and then
But there's loads of problems with that. Like the Back to the Future concept, it doesn't work because we're always moving as well. If you were to then teleport back essentially to where you were, you're in a different point in the universe. Our galaxy has moved further away from it, but also we are, as a biological being, quite feeble. Yeah. If we actually moved at that speed, we would just turn into dust. But
I would love to get some sort of radio signal. Not me personally, because I'll
you driving home from work like, who the fuck is that on the Bluetooth?
And then no one's going to believe me, and I'll have to get a tinfoil hat. And
then you really can live in my attic if you need to, just to hide.
Imagine being that person that truly knows the truth, but no one would ever believe you.
Oh, but that's like the Bigfoot situation. Shit.
Yeah.
People that genuinely think they've seen Bigfoot, but they're just fucking bonkers and not believe them. But I don't know. I think one day we will. Whether we're alive to see it, I don't know, but we'll find out.
Speaking of the vastness, I've seen something. There was figures with it as well, but I can't remember the figures. Every single grain of sand that's on this earth, times that number by, I think it was around 44, then that's how many potential different planets there are in
like a Goldilocks zone like we are that could...
No, in general. That's just how many different planets there are.
In the known universe.
In the known universe.
So that's the observable universe in terms of what we know exists, but it could be even more vast. Well, I've seen, I was reading something the other day that was arguing that maybe the universe isn't infinite, which is a weird concept when you think of, actually, there is an edge.
Yeah, but...
That stumped you there, isn't it?
Yeah, but on the flip side, I really struggle with infinity.
Yeah, I think infinity is an interesting concept built by mathematicians to allow some of their formulas to work.
Like, until I started doing my HND, infinity was a single thing that just never ended. When I got told there was different sorts of infinity, wow, it's just ongoing.
Which ones have you used then? I'm guessing because yours is in an engineering capacity. Yeah, because mine would have been similar, but mine would have been. In terms of sound waves, we could use finite or obviously infinite maths to work out Fourier transforms and stuff. But
I wouldn't be able to tell you in what capacity I used it in, to be honest.
Okay, because when you're saying there's different types of infinity, that kind of piqued my interest. What do you mean?
I switched off. This teacher was clever. I'm not even sure it was anything to do with the equations that we were doing.
Okay,
but we got onto the subject. He just came out of doing his master's, his PhD in maths, and he told me there was, I think there might be more than two, but there's definitely at least two sorts of infinity.
No way! I'm just ChatGPTing it now. I can't spell infinity because I'm that excited to find out what the fuck's going on. Okay. No, he's giving his answers about cars. No, I mean the. I can't believe he's given us the A stylish compact crossover known for its VC turbo. Piss off. It's a sedan. The luxury vehicle is by Nissan. Okay.
Mathematical concept.
Here we go. Countable and uncountable infinity, potential infinity, and actual infinity. Different sizes. Whoa, okay, right. I did not know enough about this. This is something I'm good. I mean, I've seen infinity calculus before, yes. I'm going to need to read a lot more about this, and then the next podcast we can discuss it, and you can basically explain to me why I'm crying while I'm talking to you about it, because it's just hurting my brain. Interesting.
But yeah, it was just one of them things that you hear and you're like, it just doesn't make sense.
Going back to no, it doesn't, because everybody just thinks infinity is just ongoing. It's a forever moving number, really. But to go back to your grains of sand and how many planets there are, I think that's kind of where I sit. I'm going, if there's that many planets, and you're telling me that we're that special, that we're the only one, bullshit. Whether we actually find the other one, I don't think it's going to be, like you said, us getting to that point. It's just going to be either a fucking awesome laser telescope kind of thing, or some kind of radio wave where we've just tuned in and gone, yo, listen to this sick beat. Whoop. Like, it's just, who knows? But one day it will happen, and we will.
So, what's your thoughts on the multiverse theory then?
By multiverse, are you talking different timelines? And we can affect
talking about an infinite amount of timelines with an infinite amount of different possibilities happening in each one.
I think it's a convenient topic to help explain new topics in quantum physics that we don't understand yet. I think it's like having a simple formula in maths where sometimes you know the outcome and you need to understand the formula. You need to work the formula out to know where the outcome comes from. So you rearrange in some sort of algebraic way. But sometimes you have to add in functions to make it work. And I feel like the multiverse is one of those at the minute.
Yeah.
There's probably some elements of truth to it, like, it might be. But do I think that if I decided to go for a piss upstairs instead of downstairs, that means there's now a split in two universes where I piss in different places? No. I understand that there's vastness in the universe, but I think that if that was the case, it is on a scale that us as humans could find unfathomable. We can't conceive that. Our brains would melt.
Yeah. See, I'm not a follower of it. I just find it really interesting. Again, back to the comic book stuff.
Yeah.
It solves a lot of problems. Throw in an alternate timeline and we can bring Superman back to life.
I mean, I saw something the other day. I can't believe I've not mentioned this yet. And if it's true, there's a child part of me that's really happy about it, but I'm sure Iron Man's coming back.
He's coming back as Doctor Doom.
Is he going to be Doctor Doom though?
Yeah. Downey Jr. is playing.
Here we go. Robert Downey Jr. is not returning as Iron Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but he'll be playing the villain Doctor Doom in upcoming Avengers films. That I'm not happy about, because I'm just going to look at him and go, but you're Iron Man. But
there was actually a crossover in the comic where, because you've got Doom, Stark Industries, and then Victor Von Doom's got his own sort of technology company.
Tell me more.
And there's some way that they trade bodies. So Victor Von Doom was jealous of Stark, so they trade bodies. And so Von Doom becomes Iron Man and Stark becomes Doctor Doom. So it is pretty sort of on the lines of like true to the comic books.
I did not know this, but I'm on board with that. Yeah. Okay, rather than him just playing a different character, now I know that there's actually a pre-existing backstory where they cross over. I can get on board with that. Iron Man's not gone.
But it depends what they've taken from it.
Yeah, okay.
I think ultimately, because Stark becomes a hero as Doom.
Okay.
And I think I'm not into the Marvel comics like I am DC.
Well, I'm open to see how it goes, to be honest.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
He said the possibility of Downey Jr.'s return is not entirely out of the question. Oh, that's just Marvel in general.
But I guess, like you've just been saying there with the multiverse, it would be very easy. May not be true to the comic books, but they don't stay completely true to them anyway. No. So it could be very easy for them to just go, oh, we need another couple of million. Robert Downey Jr. spent all his money, let's bring him back. But the worst part is I wouldn't be that sad about that. I'd probably fanboy about that. But I think that's one of the only films. Kay says I'm like a rock. Like I don't really cry that much, but it's one of the only films. Endgame. There was a little tear. And I was just like, I'm meant to be a fully grown fucking man. Like, why am I? But it's because I've watched Iron Man since I was like early teens.
Yeah.
So, and then it got to that, and I was like, holy fuck. And Kay's just looking at me like, really? Like, all these other films we watched, nothing. And
I was with him in that desert when he made that first suit.
I was, man. I was there in spirit. Yeah, it's one of them. Right, we are an hour and 41 minutes in. Shall we call it there? Because I'm starting to get hungry and we've got some steaks to cook. We've not even got into the whole carnivore diets and stuff. No. But just quickly, you were telling me earlier about, what was it called? The tab-in that you did.
Fan dance.
Yeah, what is that?
What, the actual fan dance?
Yeah.
It's a military route. I think they use it as a SAS selection.
So you going in the SAS, is that what you're telling me?
No, it was just one of them personal challenges that I thought, it'd be good to give it a bash.
I think we've both got to that point in our lives that going out and getting drunk at the weekend and all that's just not for me. It's not interesting anymore. So we're looking for different ventures and different things to do. But it's kind of cool. Like,
trying to find it up. So yeah, it's 15 miles. You've got to complete it in 4 hours 10 minutes with a certain amount of weight on your back.
And you said it was about 23 kilograms.
23. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have blisters on your feet at the end?
Oh yeah, my toe's still black from the 24 miler that I did the other day or the other week.
Fuck off. Wait, did you take your shoes off before you came in?
Yes, I did.
Have you got socks on?
Yes.
That's all right.
Oh, so I lied to you earlier. It wasn't 4 hours 40. It was 5 hours 40.
Okay, that's even worse.
But that was
5 hours walking around with that on my back. No.
Yeah, that was with my brother, and we're connected on the Garmin, and he's put something about feeling like he got bummed by an elephant or something. He really struggled, and for a fit guy, I think it opened his eyes. He started running and everything after that, and I'm sure we're going to go back and do it again, and he's going to smash it. But
that's the difference, isn't it? Some people can be really well built from a gym and be like, oh, stocky, but then you ask them to run for longer than 10 minutes and they're fucked.
Yeah, he can run longer than me now.
Well, that's why I got the spin bike in the garage, because I was, throughout the years, obviously I've loved gymming. I was never quite the same size as your brother, but I noticed that I had some good size, but I just didn't have any stamina. I'd be walking through town and I'd be like, I've only been walking around 20 minutes, why am I tired? But do you think you'll do it again?
Oh yeah, I'm going to do it again. Probably next year.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We could use, if this podcast gets any bigger, we can use it to drum up some attention where you get some. Do you do it for charity?
No, I do it for fun.
Oh, you should do it for charity, man. You should, like, obviously, I don't know what you'd have.
I'd rather do something a bit more extreme for charity, to be fair.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people, mate, last year, it might have been the year before, I did 100 push-ups a day for the month for, I think it was breast cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I raised about £70. Never did a press up again after that. I mean, I've just started again now, but you've got to do it. If you're doing something like that, people will definitely sponsor you for it.
Yeah, I suppose it's a good outcome for something that I'm going to do anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean.
But yeah, I did
who
20.
Would you pick?
Who would I pick?
Yeah.
Probably
Comedians in peril. You do the whole thing with the helmet on, isn't it?
No, probably Marianne Evans. It's the hospice. It's my grandma was with before she passed.
There you go, man. So I thought you might say like Birmingham Children's Hospital or something. But I guess you got some great ones to go for, haven't you?
Yeah, there would be probably a few that I could pick from, to be fair.
I think you'd be silly not to. And make your brother do that as well. But yeah, no, I think I'd be interested to, if we make this more of a periodic thing as well. Yeah. And then we're doing it every couple, I don't know, whenever we manage to. I think we're both very busy.
Whenever life permits.
I know. Well, I had to say the same to my dad, but when key things are going on, I mean, we've not even got into the budget today, but Trump we've touched on.
Well, they're fucking everyone, so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pissed off. Oh, we took a penny off the pint. And I'm just like, I don't drink. That doesn't help me at all. But the big thing that really did piss me off, and I don't expect people that listen to this to all have a massive interest in politics or any one particular thing that we speak about, but it pissed me off when they said, I can't remember her name, the lady that released the budget. She said, I wouldn't dare raise the taxes and national insurance of the little guy. And then all she did was make the employer do it. She's like, I'm just going to make the employer pay more national insurance and tax. Shit rolls downhill.
And as I'm an employer, that does
Exactly.
You know, I'm going to now
Oh,
have
that's the point. Has that
Yeah.
fucked you a bit then?
Yeah, I've got an apprentice who ain't fully skilled yet.
Yeah.
But because he's a later apprentice, it will take him into minimum wage. So he's going to go from
A certain amount.
around a
Yeah.
lower wage,
An
£8
apprentice
up
kind of
to
wage.
So it's going to take a £4 or £5
Shit.
pay jump, but yet his skill set is still going to remain the same value to us as a company.
So, okay, this is a different perspective because for me, just being an employee, I've just kind of gone, well, that doesn't help me. No doubt I won't get a bonus or something next year. They'll just take it out.
Yeah.
They'll take it off me that way. But as an employer, how are you going to deal with it? Because surely there's a way.
I've got no choice, mate. I've got to do it. That's now the law.
So
it just
I'm
means
not a Labour voter, and I'm more annoyed for you now, if I'm honest. But I did get it up, like a summary of their budget. Let me just have another.
Don't get me
quick
wrong.
look.
I think minimum wage needs to. No, I don't actually. Minimum wage was fine where it is. I think the cost of living needs to be reduced.
That's a tricky
match
one.
it.
It's a tricky one to do.
It is, but you've seen minimum wage and average wages stagnate since
Yeah.
fucking years and years now, whereas the cost of living and inflation has just carried on going up, up, and up. And they just keep wanting to. Oh yeah, we'll get lower the deficit, do this, do that. Why not concentrate on just keeping inflation at the same level?
Yeah. Which
So
I'm not going to lie.
everything else has got to go up around it.
Conservatives were doing that. They kept it relatively low. I know it
Yeah,
kept going up. They kept going up, but they just managed to get it to plateau for a bit, and then now they're not just.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Sunak thought he was a bit of a knob. Is that he was?
They're all knobs, mate. Like,
They're all cut from the same cloth,
Yeah.
aren't they? Really, that's the downside of it. But let's have a quick look. I've got a summary up quick. I know I said we were going to finish, but for completeness, the UK's autumn budget 2024 spending. The government plans to spend. I mean, what's that? 1.2 billion.
no, it's not 1.2 billion. That's 1,276 billion.
No, it's not. There's no way that could be the budget.
You've got a comma and a decimal point.
No, it's closer to you. Let's blame my poor
1,276.2 billion.
Billion?
Is what it reads.
Which is about 45,000 per household, which includes spending on public services, state pensions, and debt interest. I get that they're going after the NHS thing because they know that that's going to keep people happy. Okay, fine, but why did you take a couple of £100 off the old folk? That makes no sense to me.
No.
Like,
From what you campaigned to get into power with, and then it's just
it's silly. The government plans to raise. Go on, and you tell me that one. 1,148.7 billion.
127.5 billion.
Wait, where are you? Oh no, I was looking at. Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you would have. Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is about 40,000. Includes revenue from taxes and other sources. So you see how we've Googled this, and it's refusing to say it plans to raise 1,148 billion from revenue from taxes and other sources, which is basically a polite way Google is saying they're going to tax the employer.
Yeah.
Yeah, pricks. Budget deficit. We're on a budget deficit of 127.5 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot.
What? National debt. They plan to get the national debt income. It's about 2.8 trillion. How can we be in that much debt? Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
National income, which.
So look at it as overheads and everything. So you've got income and expenditure, basically. And the debt is the difference between the two.
Trillion.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many zeros there are on a trillion. That's how unlikely I am to see the number every now and then. And we still have some people living on the streets. Are you taking the piss? That is ridiculous, the amount of money they've got thrown around. Cap the corporation rate tax of 25% for the duration of Parliament, which doesn't really affect me. I don't know about you.
As a business, it does. We pay corporation taxes.
Yeah, that's probably. Is it a good thing then that they're capping it at that rather than putting it up, or would you obviously I would rather it go down, but
I'd rather see a cap than an increase. Put it that way.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. Plateau again. air passenger duty rates, which is fine as long as it's on private jets as well, which is what they said when they were releasing the budget.
I don't agree with private jets.
I mean, I don't. But then if you had
were
enough money to have one, would you suddenly change your mind?
Yeah, after a nice period of it flying first class beforehand. But
Okay.
why should every single average person pay more on their car tax for an emission charge when private jets...
They wash it out. You could think.
You fly one plane, which is probably equal to God knows how many cars. I'm not even going to guess, because I won't be able to guess it right. But I know that it would be a lot more than, a flight from here to Australia on a private jet would probably
ChatGPT it.
Be enough fuel to drive you around for years. You watch this is going to shit all over my theory now.
So I asked it, what would a flight on a private jet from the UK to Australia be the equivalent for a basic car emission?
3 tons divided by
so it's doing a shit ton of maths for us.
15 tons of CO2. This is...
Hang on,
breaks it down pretty well, doesn't it?
Private jets are highly inefficient in terms of fuel and emissions, especially compared to commercial flights or ground transportation. The emissions per passenger are especially high on private jets because they carry very few people relative to the amount of fuel being burnt, that's where it's the privilege problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's saying here...
There we go. Extremely carbon intensive.
So comparison results. Private jet one-way flight from UK to... Australia, 57 tons of CO2. A standard car, annual emissions, 1.68 tons.
Well, there you go.
I mean,
so we're paying for them to fly around in a private jet.
Pretty much. Well, this is what you hear people saying. The cow's farting doesn't do a fucking thing compared to you lot going to your fancy World Economic Forum meetings and all your private jets.
Thunberg's flying around on a private jet.
Don't get me started on that, mate. This is just... So, yeah, I mean... I think this is a good way to end it.
Yeah.
If there's anyone out there that's feeling just as pissed off as us about finding out silly things like this, tune in again. Okay, until next time, take it easy, guys.
See you later, guys.
Bridging the Gap Podcast.